Good morning, FlossTube. This is Deb or Deborah. I am scienceknitster on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, not Facebook, and Ravelry. Good morning. I hope you are warm wherever you are. It's been a bit chilly here in South Texas. I have to say, although I'm a Yankee and what Southerners would call a goddamn Yankee because I moved south and stayed here, it's been quite cold for here. My friends and family up north will laugh probably because people down here, yeah, they dress like this when it gets below about 50. It's not quite that warm today. It's been in the 30s, which at least at night, some places in South Texas have gone below freezing, which it can happen. It's just, it doesn't usually happen every year. And now it's happened 2 years in a row. Fortunately, so far, the power has stayed on. Last year around this time, we, a lot of folks in my area, myself included, were out of power for several days because of issues with the electrical grid in Texas. So thank you, wind power. That is what's keeping the lights on, apparently. So anyway, you're not here to hear about cold and power in South Texas. You are here to hear about my crafty things. So this is a podcast about well, whatever crafty things I'm doing. Pretty much most of the time these days it's cross stitch or other stitching related things, and sometimes a little bit of knitting. I also do weaving and spinning, but I haven't had much time to work on those lately. So today my plan is to give you a little update what I've been working on since my last FlossTube that I recorded at the beginning of January. And then, as promised in that in that episode, I'm going to do another WIP parade. The one I did at the beginning of January was for my Christmas things. This one is going to be for anything I started in 2021, except the Christmas things that I showed last time. There were a couple of Christmas things. I'm not going to show those again unless I've worked on them, and then you'll see them at the beginning in the update. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. But first, I will tell you this morning I am drinking my version of a hazelnut latte, which I make make a bunch of coffee in a French press, and really it's not really a latte. It's really more like cafe au lait with stuff in it, which apparently is a no-no in New Orleans. You just have coffee and milk. So mine is coffee, almond milk, and some sugar-free hazelnut syrup, because hazelnut lattes are my favorite. Okay, so first up are some finishes. And I just realized I think I buried, excuse me, I didn't bury, but I didn't make it very evident. Excuse me. I was hoping not to have to edit this one so I could get it up. I was actually going to record this last night, but where I live right on what we call a resaca. Really, it's a pond. And right across the pond is a party house, and the music, I don't know how people in there could hear last night. Let's just say the bass line, I could hear it very nicely, and I was worried it would be on my recording, so decided to just record this morning. Okay, so first up is actually a start and a finish. It is Jane Elizabeth Milner from Hands Across the Sea. This is the freebie that came with the Rose Ada Featherstone that is exclusive to Hobby House Needleworks. I think they still have some of these. You'd have to contact them. Anyway, so I got the Appleton Wool, the Appleton wool set from Hobby House. This is my own linen just from my stash. It's a 25 count linen. It's a little bit open weave, more open than I would have liked, but it worked. I did make a couple errors, like here is supposed to be a different color. I left it after I realized, because I was like halfway down here before I realized it was the wrong one. And then there was, and it was not really a mistake, but here and right above, somewhere above her name, there's a few, what looks like to me, some extraneous stitches that I left out. And instead, you probably can't see, yeah, barely. So I pulled some Medici wool, DMC Medici wool from my stash, which is slightly thinner than the Appleton wool I was using. And I put my initials in the year here in white on purpose. So it's there, but not like screaming at you. So I'm very happy to have this done. So this was actually the January installment, so to speak, for this year's, our sampler year's Facebook group 2022 Sal. And the rest of the year we're going to spend on Rose Ada Featherstone, which I will show you in my start section. Okay, so that's finish number 1. Finish number 2 is another animal in a dress. Those of you that have been watching for a while know that I've been sort of on a kick to do a lot of Barbara Anna's animals in dresses, and this is light. It was a freebie that she put out in, can't remember if it was spring or summer of 2020, and I started it around that time as part of a sale called the Fox in a Dress Sale, and I finally finished it at the end of January. And I used all the called for colors of thread except the vine. I switched out, that was like 927 and 920 something. So to me, those look blue, more blue than green. And I'm a biologist, and I just didn't, I couldn't do a blue vine. I wanted it green. So I picked 500 and I think 501 and did that instead. And I think it came out great. Some of these berries might be the wrong color. I don't know. There are some mistakes in here. So let me see if I can get this up here better. Let me go from the top. Anyway, the fabric is 28 count gingerbread. I'm not sure if it's Picture This Plush or Weeks Dye Works. It's probably Weeks Dye Works. It was in my stash, and I bought it a while ago. And the slip that was with it just said gingerbread. It didn't say who. But anyway, it's my second finish for 2022. It's one of the things I'm hoping to do this year is especially smaller things that I have that are close to finishing, to try to finish them up. See if I can have at least one finish. Probably have enough things on the go. I should be able to have one finish every month. We shall see. Okay, new starts. Oh, actually, yeah, let me do new starts first, and then I'll show progress. Then we'll get to the WIP parade. Okay, having to lean down more than I thought I would. Okay, so again, those of you that have been watching for a while, thank you very much, know that I like the Bent Creek Ubers, and I have a couple of them finished. Valentine's and Easter are finished. St. Patrick's Day is finished. But I have what I thought were the rest on the go. And then I was just looking around and saw this snowman last year sometime, and on 1-2-3 Stitch, and they were out of them. So I, clicked let me know when it's back in stock, and I totally forgot. And then, when was it? Early January, maybe end of December, I got a notice that it was back in stock. I'm like, well, gotta have that, because gotta have a complete set, right? Right? Yeah. So I got this one, and I'm a very seasonal stitcher, and it's winter, and it really feels like winter right now here in South Texas. And so I went ahead and got this, and I was able to get started on it because I had most of the threads, but not all. There's a few more. I need to get that blue for the hat. I don't have anything that's close. If I had something close, I would probably just sub it. For example, for the white, I'm using, it calls for Blanc, but I'm using B5200 because my Blanc is already slated for other things. I didn't want to have to buy more, and I had a hank of B5200 or two. So it's like, well, why don't I use that? You know, who knows when I'm going to do anything else on. This is 18 count. This is light natural linen. I can't remember if it's Swigart or Charles Craft, or anyway, it's light natural linen. I think the called for is natural, but with the colors I had pulled, I liked this better. I had both, and actually I think my piece of natural wasn't quite big enough. Anyway, lately I've been stitching in hand, but I've been doing these Ubers on squirrel frames. So I went ahead and did this the same. Okay, making a pile over here and knocking it over. So, and I just realized I didn't show my threads, but they're all in the floss weight bags anyway. So, okay, so that was start number 1. Actually, that was start number 2 because, yeah, no, that's right. Start number 1. Start number 2 was Rose Ada Featherstone that I just showed. So this is the main sampler in this Hands Across the Sea booklet that is exclusive to Hobby House Needleworks. Like I said, I'm pretty sure they still have some. I don't know if they still have kits, but they have, I think they still have the charts. At least last time I was on their website, it looked like they were still selling them. So they must still have some. Okay, so here's my start on Rose. So I started February 1st, and this is, I think, yeah, pretty much the only thing I've been working on. I usually just have anywhere from like half an hour to a couple hours in the evening before I go to bed to stitch. So I did work on this some yesterday, but I was doing a lot of cooking and cleaning also, so I didn't spend as much time stitching as I wanted to. I'm hoping to, so this is a part of a sale, and I'm hoping to finish what is slated for January or February. It's basically the upper right hand corner, sort of over here, not the ship, but and not quite to the house, sort of like this corner here. I hope to get that done this weekend and then focus on other things for the rest of the month, including later today some finishing, which I will talk about later. Oh, my threads. So I decided to go with the overdye conversion that Hobby House did. And part of, I didn't know this when I decided on doing it. So it's a collection of Weeks Dye Works, Gentle Arts, Classic Color Works, and some Valdani cotton, which I haven't had a chance to work with yet. So I'll see if I like that. I have noticed it seems to shred a lot easier, and so I've been working with shorter pieces than I normally would. I forgot to tell you about the linen. I'm sadly out of practice. So the linen is 40 count antique lace from Seraphim, and this was part of the kit that Hobby House put together. You had some choices, and I decided to go with this one just to try a different dyer. Okay, not sure what the model was stitched on. Oops. Oh, and the bag. Normally I use these kind of bags from Amazon because you can see through them. But this bag is very distinctive, and I'll remember because right now Rose Ada Featherstone is the only Hands Across the Sea booklet I have that's in that bound style. So I know it will fit in here. This is a bag from Dancing Sheep that I bought several years ago. I mainly buy her bags for knitting, and I know I bought this for a knitting project. I don't remember what. Hopefully I finished it, but I decided to use it. It was empty. I decided to use it for this. Okay, and Dancing Sheep, you can find her on Etsy. I don't know that she has any, if that Katie has any bags of that kind right now, but her stuff is very well made. I've been buying her things for years. Okay, so progress. The only other thing I've worked on that I either didn't finish or just start is this Bringing Home the Tree. So again, I did show this in the Christmas one as a start. Trying to think. Anyway, it does kind of, it screams home, this screams Christmas a little bit, but it's also winter, so decided to make some progress. And so I've gotten all of the car done, except the back wheel, and I've got the tree done except for the trunk. And I was waiting for some thread to do that, so I will probably do that. You notice the picture is on white. This is this was in my stash. It's a 14 count Aida, so I'm stitching. I'm using 2 threads. All the other things I've showed, no, I tell a lie. Light was using 2 threads also because that was on 28 count linen. Anything 36, oh, so the equivalent would be 18 count Aida. I stitch with 1 strand. Otherwise, I stitch anything below that. I stitch with 2, except under unusual cases. So, and I need to get the color. Need to get over to Judy's Stitchery Nook, my local needlework store, and get a color to fill in the tire here. But this is Polar Ice, I think is what it's called. It's a Charles Craft, and I've looked because I would love to get some more of this because I like the color, but there's some like hands-on designs and some stitching with the housewives I think would look good on this, especially if I tea-dyed it and made it look a little greener. But I wasn't able to find it, so I think it's no longer being made. But so I'm gonna stitch the snowflakes and so forth in white. I still haven't decided what I'm gonna do about the bottom. The Bringing Home the Tree part. I may even just leave it off. I don't know. I haven't decided. Oh, and then here's my, most of the DMCs in this one were on flossaway bags. So I just left them there. I didn't bother to put them on floss rings. I still have some things on bobbins, but I'm no longer bobbinating. Okay, so that's the update part. So I went through last year's book of days. Let's just make sure I didn't forget. Oh, no, I have another new start. No, not a new start, another update. I forgot. I'll save that for the WIPs because I started her in 2021. Although I think I already showed up. Anyway, I'm looking at my book of days and realizing I forgot one, but I didn't because I was planning to show that as my first WIP. Okay, so I got out last year's and kind of went through, and each month, and I'm going to try to do this as I go this year, but I made a little, yeah, mine's messy. Mine's not pretty like Brenda and Laura's, sorry. I'm trying to keep track of new starts, so I went, and any new start that I didn't already show as part of my Christmas WIPs, I got together, and I'm kind of going in reverse chronological order because I know those of you that watch regularly and our subscribers, and I hope watch regularly, thank you, would have seen the stuff I started earlier in the year when I did my WIP parade back in June or August, whenever it was. So I thought I'd start in reverse chronological order, the things I started in December and November and going backwards. So that's what I did. I organized them. I actually organized myself today. Amazing. Okay, so first up, started in December, and I'm like 99% sure I showed this in my December or beginning of January episode, but this is Esther Blackwood, 1853. It's a Canadian sampler that is exclusive to Traditional Stitches. I think they still have some, at least that's what the last newsletter was still talking about it, so I'm thinking they still have some. And I don't know if they still have the linen and the kits, but you can buy just the chart with linen and threads, chart with just threads, you pick. Anyway, so this is a Canadian sampler, and I wasn't gonna get this one, but then when they said the gal that did it lived in Quebec, and my husband's family is originally from there, like hundreds of years ago. I decided to go ahead and get this and be part of this owl. Although I'm not sure I'll be able to keep up, because I think I'm gonna try to keep up with Rose Ada Featherstone, and so it'll depend on how much time I have for stitching. So I am doing this on Vintage Pecan Butter by Lakeside, which is one of the options that Traditional Stitches gave, and this is 36 count, which is actually has become my favorite count. So you can see I didn't even finish all of what was on slate for the first month. So this got started on Boxing Day, December 26th, which is Hat's birthday. So, and I am doing my own overdyed conversion. So let me show you the threads I have so far. So I did buy the DMC kit because I wasn't sure, did I want to use the DMC or did I want to do my own conversion? And so what I've been doing is finding in my stash overdyes that match as close as possible to the DMC. So this is what I have so far. There's a couple colors I'm still dithering. I may actually, I'm gonna see if I can I found something that will work in my stash, but next time I go to Judy's Stitchery Nook, I'm gonna take the DMCs with me and see if I can find something closer. They're not quite right. Like the blue is not quite as bright as the DMC. The green's not as like olivey green type of thing, or bright green. That one's bright green. Anyway, you get my drift. So usually I try to do the whole conversion before I start, but since this is part of a SAL, I decided I would do it month by month. So I'm starting to pull the February threads now, and this is a humongo piece of linen, and actually I'll have enough left over for a second sampler, so I've added some Lakeside to my stash. So they didn't do like a special cut, they did, and they kind of did that on purpose. You know, if you place things wisely, you would have enough for another sampler. So I'm pretty excited about that. So not a lot of progress, but I hope to get back to that one. Oops. That needs to go back in here. I should cut that fabric because I stitch in hand, so it's like a big piece to be stitching in hand with when I don't need all of it. But and I can do the math. It's just I want to, just in case the linen weave isn't exactly 36 threads per inch, and I didn't want to take the time to figure it out. Figured I'd just get all the way across and then put my margin in and then cut it. And the other thing is that's nicely serged on the edges, and I'm usually too lazy to do that. Okay, next up, I started in November, I started La Catrina by Modern Folk Embroidery for the Black November Sampler stitch-along. Wait till you see how little I got done. And part of the reason I chose this one, I know it's, you know, it doesn't really look like a sampler, but Jacob, who of Modern Folk Embroidery, had said on his FlossTube that, you know, you could choose anything black. So I chose this from it because this is related to Los Dias de los Muertos, which is celebrated in parts of Mexico, and actually has become a pretty big thing here along the border also. And my college usually has an event, and we were able to hold it in person this year. And so I am stitching this on, oh, I've forgotten. This looks like Picture This Plus. It might be Legacy, and I forgot to look it up. But I'm stitching it with Onyx because that was the black overdye that I had the most of in my stash. So, and enough where they go together enough, like they're close enough in color, because, you know, overdyes can vary from batch to batch. So not a lot of progress, but some. Okay, what else did I start in November? So let me... Okay, so I also started as part of the Remember Me Sal with Gracie Robles of Cross Therapy. I started What Remains. And I'm stitching this in honor of my mother, who passed away from cancer quite a few years ago now, and both of my grandmothers, who are no longer with us. And okay, this is a puny start. And I'm using a combination of the called for overdyes and DMC. I'm trying to stitch for my stash, so and actually, let me see. This might be what's actually, no, it's not what's called for. Oh, I know why I'm using the DMC for this one. It calls for Mountain Mist, Gentle Arts Mountain Mist, and all the Mountain Mist that I have, except one that's saved for a special project that I haven't started yet and kitted up. I won't tell you how long ago. It looks green to me, and the picture, those areas like here, they obviously are blue, and so I decided just to go with the DMC because I didn't have anything else that was close in overdyes. So, oh, and I forgot to mention, this is, I believe it's 36 count Opulence from Luminous Fiber Arts, and I chose it. I had already bought some for another project, but I bought, you know, a bigger, way bigger piece than I needed because I thought it kind of matched the picture. And I love Misty's fabrics anyway. Okay. So obviously I haven't pulled all the threads yet, but I pulled enough to get going in November, and then I haven't worked on it since. This is another one I'd like to get back to this year, but we'll see what happens. I think Gracie has made quite a bit of progress on hers. Although she seems to be starting all the things lately, so. Good for you, Gracie. I started all the things last year and the year before, and well, you'll see. I started almost 20 new projects this past year. Actually, over 20, because I'm not counting the Christmas things that I already showed you. So I counted 19 when I counted them all up. Not including Christmas things. Okay, and not including the things I finished, right? Because I finished some things. Next up, in this one, I have to blame Abby Bella Stitch. I'm going to blame somebody. This is Nottingham by Kathy Barrick. And I am stitching this one on, oh yeah, this is Soft Porcelain by Luminous Fiber Arts. And I think it might be 40 count. And another pretty puny start. Yeah, puny. And I think, oh yes, I'm doing my own overdye conversion, I believe. Let me check. So I think this was charted in like NPIs, and yeah, it's charted in NPI or Gloriana, and DMC. And I am doing my own overdye conversion based on the picture, because I like the colors in the picture. So this is what I have so far. And let me see, where is my notes on what I actually, hopefully, here it is. Did I finish? Yeah, it looks like that is a complete conversion. That's all of them. So again, let's see. Some of those are hiding in the back. And again, Luminous Fiber Arts. I have a lot of her fabric. I don't buy all of her fabric, but when I don't buy it, I wish I did. Because then I'll either want to stitch something of hers, or I find something else that I think it would be good on, and then I kick myself for not buying it when I have the chance. A lot of her colors are really good for samplers. Okay, so I may title this one something like 2021 Year of the Sampler, because it seems like I started a bunch of samplers. Okay, so that was November, and then in October, for Dark October, I started Katrina by Yanni Stitcher. Okay, another very sad, very, very sad start. This is, I think, 40 count angel hair. It's angel hair. I just don't remember the count. I'm pretty sure it's 40 count. Or it might even be 40. No. I don't think it's 46. I think it's 40. Anyway, I'm using the called for DMC. Another Dia de los Muertos inspired piece. So that will be nice to display the end of October, beginning of November. And I'm not showing you my threads because I only pulled the first one. But yeah, my puny start. And Another puny start. Not all my starts were that puny. Okay, so that's that I started in October. And then the other thing I started in October that's still a WIP is the beautiful Eliza Martha Linfoot, which is, this is exclusive to like 3 or 4 shops. I think 4. 2 in the US, 1 in Canada, and 1 in Australia. I bought mine from Traditional Stitches in Canada. Because I was buying some other things from them, like, I forget what, I think What Remains, and because that What Remains was, I should have said, was also an exclusive. It was exclusive to Traditional Stitches. I don't know if it'll be released more widely later, and I don't know if they still have any. I believe this is still available, but I just love this basket. There's satin stitch down here. Anyway, I got the linen, I believe. Did I get their? No, I did not get their linen. I decided to get linen for my stash. And this is, I think this is Wild Honey, which then I realized after I started this that I was saving that for something else, but that's okay. So this is Legacy Linen, probably 36 count. I'm pretty sure it's 36 count. Whatever I said, Wild Honey. I think it's actually 37 count. Now I think about it. And I'm doing my own overdye conversion, or I did my own overdye conversion that I, when I do the full conversion like I did for this one, which I'm not sure why, because it's part of a sale. But anyway, my threads never look as nice as Nicole's. I don't know why. I guess I'm just a messy stitcher. Anyway, normally, like I said, I like do the full conversion, and then I tweak as I go. So this is as far as I got. I'm way behind. This is another stitch along. This is a stitch along. I forget who's hosting it, but it's a stitch along on Facebook. There's a group. And I love the colors. I love all the hat samplers. It's like there's not enough time in the day. And they keep putting out more that I want to stitch. And then I want to stitch other things too. Anyway, I'm getting this out. I'm like regretting now getting this out because I'm going to want to stitch this. I'm going to feel that way about a lot of things because I know I've got like Martha Dawson coming up. That one I started this year or last year. Anyway. I just need to get more efficient at work so I have more time for stitching. Okay, so that was October. So let's see, no new starts in September, no new starts in August. In July, okay, oh wait a minute, I tell a lie. Did I have it? When did I start this one? Why is it here? No, I didn't. I started this one in, I think I've got something in, I got something in the wrong order. We'll just have to wait. Actually, okay, so I had a couple of new starts in July. So let me just put this where I saw it, because if I put it to the side, I'll probably forget it. Okay, another sampler. I would like to get more of GGR. I think you have to buy direct from her because I don't see her stuff on Hoffman's site. And my LNS doesn't carry her. So this one, I think I got this one from Traditional Stitches. I think it was part of the same order for some other stuff. Anyway, this is Ellen Norris. I forgot to say the name. This is Ellen Norris by GGR. Like I said, I like a lot of her stuff and I would like to stitch more. Okay, so I am using the DMCs for this one. I'm stitching on a 36 count linen from my stash. I don't want to say who it's from, so I won't. Yeah, there's a thread hanging off there, so sue me. There's no cross stitch police. And I forgot. Get with it, Deb. Okay, so this is my progress. And these are the threads. Very pretty colors. And another one that I'd like to get back to. And this is 36 count, as I was saying. Okay, fold this back up. Maybe that's why my floss tubes are always so long, because I take the time to put things back. Okay, so the other thing I started in July in honor of Gregor Mendel's birthday. I'm a geneticist, and he is the father of genetics. So, is Quaker Genetics by Ink Circle. I am not using their colors at all. I just chose some colors that I like. And I haven't pulled all the colors yet, because am I still dithering? Let me see if I made any notes. I did not make any notes, so I'm apparently still dithering over the other colors. But I am doing this on, you guessed it, Luminous Fiber Arts. And I can't remember if this is 36 or 40 count. And at least one of my colors is Gentle Arts Butternut Squash. So I'm probably gonna have like either a red or rust or green. I don't know. I'm okay. This is, let me get the chart back out and explain. This is the science corner today. Okay, so this is representing what's called a Punnett square, where you have, and it's a Punnett square following two traits at the same time. And above on the top are the two versions of a gene that you would get from one parent, and two versions from a gene that you get from the other parent. Okay, so the other version. Okay, so the studies that Mendel did, all the traits that he studied, and this one I believe is supposed to be representing P color and P shape. That's the classic one that we talk about in genetics or intro bio. And the P color could be yellow or green, hence yellow for one of my colors. Am I too literal? I don't know. And so I'll probably choose a green, a bright green for the other one. So where it's red is going to be yellow. Where it's dark green is probably going to be a bright green. And then the seed shape could be round or wrinkled. And yellow is what we call dominant over green, and round is dominant over wrinkled. So anyway, when you're following two traits at a time, you need 16 boxes because you have 4 different combinations of the two traits. And anyway, Science Corner today. I really need to get back to it. My plan was to stitch this on the 20th of each month, and I may just make like a big circle in my book of days, so I remember, or like put a big note to myself, or even put it on my my Outlook calendar, like, hey, stupid, stitch the Quaker Genetics today, so I can make some progress on that one. So that I started it on July 20th in honor of Gregor Mendel's birthday. Okay. Oh, and I forgot to say that the Nottingham, I blame Abby Bella Stitch because that was started for her birthday sale. if you've watched Abby's latest video, you saw her progress a lot better than mine. But, you know, like, it's not like she's close to finishing, so I don't feel too bad. Okay, so that was July. And I worked on other things during that month. Each of these months, I worked on other things that I'm not showing because I've either already shown it because it was Christmas, or I started it earlier than 2021. Okay, now we can get back the one that I pulled out. So this is the Bristol Squirrel, and this is also the fault of Abby Bella Stitch. I saw hers on Instagram. I believe it was on Instagram is where I saw it first. I was like, I've got to have that. And it was the chart was a freebie. I got another thread hanging off. So this is 40 count, I believe. Yeah, 40 count. 40 count. I had to look up the color the other day. Antique cotton, I believe. 40 count antique cotton by R&R. And I am using Threadworks 10051. So I haven't worked on this in I worked on it sometime during the fall. Probably at least during Sampler September. I'm not sure I've worked on it since then. I had planned to get it out before now. But anyway, once I finish this month's task for Rose Ada Featherstone, I plan to work on a red sampler for most of the rest of February. So I have this one and another one I'm going to show, and I haven't decided if I'm going to try to stitch on both of them or just one of them. And I'm thinking about using the hashtag red sampler February. I don't know, you know, red Valentine's. Tell me what you think. And then also the Colorado Stitcher is doing her winter cross stitch camp. I just started watching her recently and realized I know her from knitting. She's the Loopy U. What a small world, right? Anyway, they're doing like red sampler thing or one color sampler thing. I forget the details, but you couldn't start before February 1st, and I didn't want to start another red sampler. So I'm just kind of gonna follow along with my samplers. Although I might start a small. There's a small by Michelle Bendy Stitchy that came out, that she sent out last year, maybe, for Patreons. And also Misty at Luminous Fiber Arts put out something recently that I haven't printed out. Yeah, this is gonna be another long one. Hopefully it won't take forever. Okay, so that was my new start for June. May had no new starts. In April, I started this Barbara Anna, and unfortunately the only picture I have to show you is this little one. So this is Miss Teapot. This is an exclusive with Nitka Moscow. And yes, I ordered it all the way from Russia. So, the threads come on these nice things, and they come all braided. It's really cool. When you open the tube, they come in tubes. I really want to get some more of their kits, Barbara Anna kits, but I keep spending my money on other things. Wait till you see my haul. I might have to save that for the next one though. This is my progress. So I started in the middle, obviously. And this was a full kit, so I'm using the linen from the kit. And I can't remember, well, all the written stuff is in Russian, so this looks, it could be like lamb's wool or something like that. It's obviously Zweigart, but anyway, you can see I made some progress on her skirt. And I've worked on her a couple of times since I started her, but obviously not a lot. And I love Barbara Anna, but I've been stitching her animals and dresses, so I didn't ever get back recently to Miss Teapot, but I would like to. I sound like all the other WIP parade people. Like, yeah, I want to get back to this. Okay, so March. March was a big month. 1, 2, 3. I started 4 things in March. Okay, you have to understand, at that time I was consumed. I'm consumed by Ann Roberts. Hands Across the Sea, Ann Roberts. And I spent, you can tell, I spent most of my month like Ann Roberts. And I finished her in April. Okay. This is the Hiragana Sampler. The Hiragana Sampler by Modern Folk Embroidery. And I'm actually doing a mashup of the Hiragana Sampler and the Katakana Sampler, which I haven't actually printed out yet. And I'm doing it on a cream, so obviously Zweigart, cream linen with, and this is a Needle Necessities from my stash. So I'm stitching, since this is 32 count, I'm stitching with 2 threads. Actually, I do the loop method when oh no, I'm probably not for this one because it's an overdye. Anyway, Needle Necessities, they are, basically their colors are now Threadworks, and you can find the equivalent. And I have mentioned the equivalent in previous episodes. I do not remember exactly. I want to say like Cloudy Days or something like that. No, I don't know. Something weather related. And I may have, let me see if I wrote it down. Probably not. So I've looked it up before and I forgot before this one. Anyway, you can go online and just search like Needle Necessities to Threadworks and find the conversion. So mine was Needle Necessities 113. Maybe the Needle Necessities was called Cloudy Days. I don't know. For some reason, Cloudy Days sticks in my head. So I need to get back to this because this was actually, I started it in March for Stitch Asia, which Abby Bella Stitch and some others were hosting last year. And then I made it my birthday sal. And I stitched on it in the spring and a little bit in the summer, and then I haven't gotten back to it because I keep starting all the samplers. Speaking of which, I also started Sarcy Girls 2020 Pandemic Sampler. I just love that piece gap. And made pitiful progress. I've worked on it a few times. I'm using the called for DMC. And this is Weeks Dye Works Tin Roof, and I think it's Old Weeks, and that I tea-dyed to try to grunge it up a little bit. But you can see, and it's 40 count. I'm pretty sure this is 40 count. That's what Judy had at Judy's Stitchery Nook. So this kind of like screams fall to me, and I worked on it like a teeny tiny bit in the fall. So I probably won't, because of the colors, I probably won't get back to it till the fall. So hopefully I'll have made big progress on some of my other samplers and then can concentrate on this one. Maybe for Sampler September? I don't know. I said, year of the sampler, especially March. Okay, so I started 4 samplers. All the things I started in March were samplers. Chester's Place. Look at that red house. Okay, this was, if I recall correctly, this was originally published. So this is Whistlestop Stitcher, and she originally published this as a fundraiser. And I am stitching it on using, I think I'm using the called for. Am I using the called for? Mostly. I'm mostly using the called for. Like there's a couple I didn't have, so this is a 36 count linen from a source that will remain nameless. Again, not a huge start. But I love the colors in this. This is not all of the threads. Some of them got sent off to other projects. Yes, for example, the pine needles that the green is went back to Kringles where it belongs. I bought the thread pack for Kringles, and the thread pack was for 28 or 32 count. So you'd need 2 threads, and I'm stitching it on 40 count, so I only need 1. So I figured I could use some of it somewhere else. So again, like to get back to that one. Okay, one more for March. Again, the puny start. And this is probably where a lot of my DMCs are. And I don't think this is all the colors. So, I don't have a picture of the full thing because I never printed the full picture, but the whole thing's out now. So this is the Roxy Mystery Stitch Along by Jean Farish Needleworks. And I'm way behind on watching Jean's FlossTubes. Bad me. Sometimes I get in, yes, very puny start. This is 37 count corn tassel by Legacy linen. Yeah, puny start. Actually, I think it goes, yes, it goes this way, I believe. I think I was, yeah. Anyway, I don't need this whole piece, and I don't know why I haven't cut it yet, but I haven't. Because I knew the dimensions. Anyway, this was one I had intended to keep up with, and then, as I said, I was consumed by Ann Roberts for a while. Then I got going on something else. These are my threads. I'm using the called for DMC. Jean did hers in Cosmo, I believe. But no, I was trying to mainly stitch from stash. I did have to buy some colors from Judy. So nice, bright, very springy. So maybe I'll try to get back to that this spring. Okay, so that was March. We're coming up on an hour. Okay, March, and then now February. So in February, I started this is from February 2008, Just Cross Stitch magazine. And I don't know why I just didn't print it out, because I do have the DVD with all. Oh, it's not this one, but I want to stitch this one too. Just show it a little bit. Be kind. See, I've got it marked. Okay, I think this one is called Hugs and Kisses, and I want to show you the picture. Where did it go? Okay, let's just go to the front, and it'll tell me what page. 42. On page 42 of the February 2008 issue of Just Cross Stitch is Hugs and Kisses. And I started this with the intention of finishing it and giving it to my husband, but I ended up stitching Heart and Hand Valentine Bird instead. I did change some of the colors, I think. I have to go look. I know I changed the bead colors because I remember when I kitted this up a very long time ago. I remember looking at the colors, and yeah, I think I kitted this up in 2008. Yeah. Anyway, I get myself situated here. Probably should have something black to put behind this. That's as far as I got. Anyway, I remember when I saw the bead color, I'm like, that doesn't match. So I bought something else. So at least the beads are not what's called for. Let me see. Did I change anything else? Yes, I did. I subbed some other colors. And it looks like I'm planning to sub some others. I was planning to get back to this in February, but I think I'm going to stitch samplers instead. So this might not come back out till next year. Who knows? And why did I zip that up? I was hoping to get this done and up before it's time to get on Michelle Bendy Stitchy's Twitch, because she's doing an FFO party, and I want to FFO something, which I will show you. Got a few more starts. WIPs to show you. Okay. Also started in February because of the hearts, and this was our sampler year. Several of us started this, and then Ravelry Stitcher. I think she's still doing a sal. I think she's planning to finish in sometime this spring. I will not finish then because I'm not sure when I'll get back to this, but I do want to get back to it. So I'm stitching Jessie Watson with the SWA 103s on 45 count foxtail millet. And I actually made some decent progress. And it looks like I can cut this and have enough for another small sampler. So I made some decent progress. I think I'm missing some of the SWA 103s. I know I pulled some of them from other projects, like Jane Fittis, which I do not have any idea when I will ever get back to. I don't know, like I lost my momentum on that one because I went to do some personalizations and my brain just can't handle it right now. Okay, so that was Jessie Watson. And I had planned to do the sal with Ravelry Stitcher, but I've decided my sals, my stitch alongs are really, as Michelle Bendy Stitchy and others call them, start alongs. Like I'll start with you, but I may not stitch. I may just start it and then not stitch on it again, as you saw. Okay. Hey, Abby, are you gonna do that Blackbird Week thing again? I think we need to, so I can finish some blackbirds. Okay, next up, and again, I think I did not, did I? I did. Amazing. I actually printed the finished one. These mystery sals, I'm like this in knitting too. Like I'll start and then I'm like, but I want to see what it looks like before I spend all that time on it. I do love this one. This is Stitching Book Club last year, Sense and Sensibility. My plan was to stitch, to listen to the audiobook and stitch along and then participate in the discussions. Did I? No. I did listen to the book. But I did not get very far. So I'm stitching this on a 18 count. I am so bad leaving these threads hanging. An 18 count Ada from my stash. So it's not exactly the blue. And I'm using the called for DMC. Let me see if I can. The blue is brighter, a little bit brighter than it's showing up. It's showing up more gray, but it's definitely a blue. Not quite an aqua blue, but it's got more blue and green in it than it's showing there. Anyway, it's pretty. It's more. Anyway. Yes, I'm wearing a very heavy cowl. And I meant to look up, this was I'm pretty sure it was a test knit that I did for, I forget who, might have been Rocket Girl Knits. And I meant to look up the pattern. I may look it up on my phone. No, I won't, because my phone's way over there. Okay, if I think of it, when I post this, I will put what this is. But it's a cowl, and I just forget who the designer is. I'm almost like, I'm 99% sure it was a test knit I did. And there's only certain people I did test knits for. It's gotta be Rocket Girl. Excuse me, Rocket Boy Knits. I think it's named in honor of her son. Okay, the beautiful Martha Dawson. I started in January, so now we're to January. I started in January, and then I restarted, I think in April, after I finished Ann Roberts, because I had made a mistake and put it away. Anyway, I know I restarted it. I just forget when. This is one where I am doing my own overdye conversion. This is, what is this? Oh, pearl barley. 40 count pearl barley, I think. This is what, I had bought this from Judy's Stitchery Nook, I forget, for something else, and then decided not to use it. And then Martha Dawson came out, Hands Across the Sea, and it's the, it was the Sal for the Our Sampler years, the stitch along for Our Sampler years last year, the 2021 stitch along, which I obviously did not finish because I was trying to finish Ann Roberts. Anyway, and I had to restart. So I was making good progress. This kind of became my consuming one, but then I realized that like all of this stuff is a few stitches off, and I kind of lost steam after that. But I think I'm just going to go ahead, and I figured out that if I just went ahead, I might have to move a couple of motifs closer to another one, but things won't overlap, and I think I'm just going to go with it. The house is going to be in the wrong place. It's going to be too far this way, a few stitches. I forget how many. Probably didn't write it down. Anyway, but I really would like to keep up with at least the Rosetta Featherstone. So I don't know when I'll get back to this, but, and then the Eliza Martha Linfoot. It's so pretty. And then Esther Blackwood. I'm going to personalize that one. Maybe put some, I need to get, overdye conversion. I need to get some initials and dates from my husband's family. Anyway, that's my overdye conversion. If you're interested, let me know. I really need to get my blog going again, and then I can post that kind of stuff there in my copious free time. Okay. The last start. Actually, I might have started this one before Martha. Last start, another GGR. Julia L. Fuchs, 1869. This was started in the Our Sampler years Facebook group as what's called a blessing sampler. And actually the one I finished this year, Jane Milner. Elizabeth Jane Elizabeth, whatever. that first thing I showed was the blessing sampler this year. But so I finished that in January, so hopefully I'll have more blessings this year than last year when I did not finish my blessing sampler. So this one is being stitched. I am stitching it on 46 count straw using SWA 103. The number is 524. Obviously, I like my reds on the burgundy side of things. Anyway, I actually made decent progress before I stopped. I don't know why I stopped. Probably Ann Roberts. Probably. And then I just never got back to this one. So I'm thinking this is the one I want to concentrate on in February after I get my Rose Ada Featherstone homework done. I'm actually tempted to just keep stitching on Rose and finishing her early, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, I have cleaned out my little bin here that was full. So let me show you some haul that I've gotten recently. I got a bunch of magazines. I won't show those. Some of them, it's been a while. Judy was holding a bunch of stuff for me. Yes, I have a store stash. So let me show that first. Yeah, I did a thing. I will show you in a minute. Okay, that's one thing you're not going to get to see because I'm not going to get up to grab that thing that I knocked over. Okay, so Judy has, had, I'm not sure she still does, a bunch of blackbirds. And I picked some this summer that I wanted. I do not know if any of these are technically like out of print, but anyway, there are several of the loose feathers from 2012 that I picked up. The gift is small. Summer's Last Rose. That house cute. Sarah's House. I have no idea when I'll stitch any of these, but especially the ones that are samplery. Mary Ann Blackburn. I'm trying to remember, is Nicole stitching this one or she stitched it? I forget. Anyway, those were the loose feathers. And then, being a Beatles fan, I had to get The Long and Winding Road. And it's cute anyway, right? So, I'm sorry, Brenda, but I did not buy all the blackbirds that Judy had. I had to leave some for other people, right? Okay. So that was from Judy and some magazines. And then I got some things from, I want to say, from Fat Quarter Shop. Actually, let me show my Cobweb Corner stuff first. So Carla at Cobweb Corner was having a sale like right before or right after Christmas, I forget, on certain designers, and I decided to pick up, one of them was hands-on design, and I decided to pick up some hands-on design stuff that I'd wanted, and I was sort of late to the party, so some of the stuff I wanted was no longer available, at least not, from Carla in her sale. So this is Cranberry Christmas, super cute, Flamingo All the Way, Harvest Chock Full. I might collect some more of these, but I had to get this one because of the sunflowers. And then Holly Jolly Farm. And I did get some fabric. No, not from Carla. Never mind. Okay, so those were from Carla, Cobweb Corner. She's very fast, usually. And then I bought a bunch of stuff 2 different times from Fat Quarter Shop, including some fabric that I'm not going to show you because it fell on the floor. It's still in its thing, still in its packaging. So some Whistle charcoal, I think, 28 or 32 count, I forget which. Okay, so one time I got this and the Classic Colorworks that I didn't already have because I was going to start stitching this at Christmas. And I may have showed this in my Christmas one. I can't remember. And then, I forget what I was watching, but I had to get this calendar crate. I don't know if I'm going to get all of them, but to me that like just screams winter. Plus it says Knit Company. And as a knitter, I was like, I gotta have that one. And I had started pulling threads and I was going to stitch it on some of the fabric that I bought, the charcoal, I think it's whatever it was that I bought. It's on the floor right now. But I haven't got there yet. So I decided to finish light instead of starting this. Okay. And then I got this one because Kimberly at Fat Quarter Shop is doing a stitch along where each month they're pulling different colors for the center motif. And they got a whole like thing going. I don't think I'll do all 12. I think I'm going to do it seasonally. So the January one is blues, which I think I'm going to go with. I just need to decide what background, what linen or fabric I'm going to use. Kimberly's using a 10 count something or other. I don't know. I might go with like, see if I can get some Betsy Ross or Tula. I'm not sure. I'll see what Judy has. I don't think, I used to have some Betsy Ross in my stash, but I don't think I do now. That's a 9 count. It's sort of like an Ada, but not really. Anyway, so, and I may eventually like stitch this whole thing. So this is Flea Market Baskets from Lori Holt and BMI Bonnet. As a quilter. Yes, I quilt too. I haven't finished a quilt or even worked on one in a while, but I do quilt. Actually, I piece, and I usually pay somebody to do my quilting, but I've also quilted on my own machine, a smaller quilts. I once did a lap size and like never again. Baby quilts, yes. Placemats, things for the table, fine. Never doing another lap quilt on my own, I have a very nice Bernina, but it was just hard just getting all that fabric. It was heavy. Okay, so what else did I get from Fat Quarter? So this was the thing that I did, okay? I should not have done this, but Fat Quarter Shop now carries fox and rabbit. The only thing is, you need to buy a whole yard. So I did. 2 of them. This is Ballet Slippers, and I already have an idea of what I want to use this for, or at least some of it. And then this one's hog bristle. That I forget. There was a sampler that was calling for this, or something was calling for this. So I was like, well, sight unseen, I'll try hog bristle. And I think I'm going to use this for Sarah Ann Banton by Cozy Egg. It's a beautiful sampler that she did. I just need to decide. Anyway, 36 count for both of these. And now, so like now I'm like, maybe I should save these for something really big, right? But I bought it to use. So now I don't know what to do. What do you think? Save it for something big or just start using it? I don't know. Like, because what if I cut into it and then like this beautiful hat sampler comes out that needs more than a fat half. And I've used up more than a fat half of one of these. Like, right? So what do you do? Anyway, so that's my haul. I was going to show some knitting, but we're coming up on an hour and 20 minutes now. So what I do want to do is show you what I plan to do in the finishing party. Okay, so I started finishing. So I've stitched all of these. Okay, so I initial and put the year, right? 2005. I should be embarrassed, right? That I haven't FFO'd these. Okay, so I probably have things in my finish box that are older than this that I have not FFO'd, right? Okay. True confessions. Anyway, so this is going to be an easel. I've got all the parts here. I just need to finish. So I've got this one all laced up. I need to finish the corners here. And I need to make some twisted cord, which I'm going to make. See, I have my cord maker, which I found. That's not right. Where's the cord? Oh. So, these two. These two. These are the two I'm going to make the cord from. So anyway, I stitched these. These are on 18 count linen. They're Erica Michaels freebie. You might still be able to find them on the internet. They were on the Rainbow Gallery. They were on their website for years. And I'm gonna make twisted cord out of these two DMC. I may try to make the twisted cord before I get on Twitch with Michelle Bindi Stitchy. And once I finish this one, I want to start working on March. Do I have the March stitchery thing in here? No. Anyway, I've got all of them. I've got all of the mat board all cut. I've got these thingies sewed. Okay. I did all that when my friend Susan and I got together before the pandemic, we would get together over Christmas. My husband and I would spend Christmas with her and her husband. And I got all those ready. I did finish January. I had it out. If you saw my Instagram feed for my January winter vignette, you saw January, and I had planned to get February done in time. But I was working on samplers and then finishing light, so I didn't get there. So I was like, well, Michelle said on her latest FlossTube she was doing a finishing party today on Twitch. I'm like, yes, I need to get that February done and start working on March. So my goal is to get February done, and then sometime during February, get March done so I can put March out. And then each month I want to try to finish at least one of them for the next month. We'll see if that happens. Famous last words. Okay, let's see. I think I was going to show some knitting, but I'll show that next time because I won't have as much to show because I probably won't have that many different things that I've worked on. Well, thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed my trip through my WIPs that I started in 2021. I did work on other things, most of which I started in 2020. A few things I started before then. But I figured this would be long enough. And I am not going to edit this one because I did edit my last one. I ended up posting it like a week or so after I recorded it because iMovie kept thinking I didn't have enough space when I did. I don't know why. And I couldn't, one of the potential fixes that I found on, doing a Google search was to delete the app and then I would have deleted all my work. It's like, because it wasn't saved. So, and that video was shorter than this one. So until I solve that issue, I will go back to not editing. I tried. Because I record on my iPad. I may try recording on my phone. I had to get a new iPhone, and so I decided to get the iPhone 13 because then I figured I wouldn't have to upgrade again for like 5 or 6 or 7 years. hopefully. And anyway, I decided to spring for not the highest amount of memory, but the middle. And so maybe, but then it would be harder to edit on my phone. I don't know. I haven't decided. But anyway, I'm going to see if I can get this going and up. I'll just kind of glance through it, make sure I didn't reveal any. I think I was good this time. The part of the reason I edited last time is I kept showing charts when I didn't mean to, obviously. So, again, thank you for joining me, and I will hopefully record again in about a month. That's my goal for this year. I may occasionally, especially if I have a lot of stuff, maybe try to record twice a month, but I don't want to promise because who knows what life will be like, how busy I will be. So again, thanks again. If you're new, please come back. Please subscribe, like, all that kind of good stuff. And I hope to see you all again in about a month. Thank you. And remember to take time to be kind to yourself and be kind to your neighbor. Bye-bye.